Hello, starting. Is that warm? Wow. I see. Can you get everyone to come in here, please?
Yeah, where's everyone?
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Does it? I think it's because it's flatter against my head. Hi, Carolyn.
Bring more chairs
Oh,
out.
okay.
Or do you need help? Hey, how's it going?
Out. What's going on out
They're
there?
coming.
Okay.
I thought we were doing outside because last time we did outside.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
last time we did outside. Yeah, like for the reading.
Avery, what do we need?
True words spoken by Buddha.
Yeah. That's what we're. Oh, cool. Keiko, do you have one?
Thank you for everyone being patient on Zoom
See, yeah.
or YouTube.
Yeah. Got a haircut. Thanks.
Hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Let us first begin by reciting the true words spoken by Buddha. Today we are going to cover the power of basics, this book. And because it is New Year's, I would like for us to practice meditation for thinking about how we want to grow, what we want to accomplish in the coming year of 2021. So let's start by reciting the true words spoken by Buddha. The true words spoken by Buddha. There used to be the light in the great universe. The light is the energy of Buddha. People can live by this energy, and Buddha's energy has made human history. It will be supplied eternally. This eternal light comes from heaven and prevails on earth. This is the light of heaven. Through the prism of Buddha, there appeared the 7 colors of rainbow, arching over in the sky. Here you can see Buddha's mercy. Yellow is the color of teaching. White is the color of saving. Red is the color of justice. Purple is the color of obedience. Blue is the color of thinking. Green is the color of harmony. Silver is the color of progress. These 7 colors help each other, and there appears Buddha land. Buddha land is shining brightly because of gathering of bodhisattvas. This is the land of love or the land of mercy. This is the land of wisdom or the land of teaching. Especially, this is the land of souls, rest in peace. Real souls are the children of Buddha. The children of Buddha became real human beings. Real human beings have spirituality. The spirits are immortal powers. The spirits are immortal forces. The spirits are real entities. The physical bodies are the shadows of the spirits. It means you are the boat sailing down the great river. The great river is the symbol of the course of lives. Each of you sails down as a small boat, so you need a boatman. If it were not for your own boatman, you surely go aground. This boatman really means your mind. If your mind makes a mistake, the boat breaks into pieces by a large rock, and you also need a bamboo pole. This pole is the meaning of the true words. When you go down a rapid stream, you need to punt in a stream. Then you can change your course. The true words means the teaching of Buddha. Buddha enlightened and spoke the true words, and Buddha's teaching became a gold mine. This gold mine suggests various teachings. These are another expression of Buddha's truth. It brightens up your days, or to put it another way, the fruits of Buddha's mercy. All of you, now, here, listen to me. Never lose your way, now and forever. The guiding hand has already waved. Please follow this white hand and go straightly on and on. Your lives are not limited to this world only. They have three aspects: the past, the present, the future. Your pasts have already gone by, yet still your mistakes will be kept in your minds. That is the reason why you should understand other people, and you yourself should reflect on what you have done. You and others are not different. On the contrary, both are children of Buddha and brothers and sisters. Now then, love each other. Let us bring up each other, and it's time to forgive each other. This is the eternal law, which penetrates the present and the future. Yes, indeed, the light of the dark night. The dark night of this world is hell. It is also the same in another world. Since we came down to this world, the sun of the truth is scheduled to rise. Now we are watching rising sun. It will shed light to the future, to invite sad people to Buddha land. Now, here, I command, there shall not be conflict in this world. There shall not be distrust in this world. There shall not be crime in this world. There shall not be evil spirit in this world. There shall not be the devil in the next world. Only the ideal world, utopia, shall be realized. All of the people love each other, live harmoniously, believe in one another. That world is utopia. All of us could be the light of bodhisattvas. Believe in that the light has reality. Believe in that love has reality. Believe in that the truth has reality. These are the facts that should be conveyed. We, the light of bodhisattvas, get together, work together to keep right mind and live in tune with Buddha's words. Here we vow to do so. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today for the last Sunday of 2020. Can you believe? "2020 must be a very different experience for each one of us. It has been a very challenging year, to say the least. Some of us may have lost loved ones. Some of us may have really had to put out fire after fire after fire. And then some of us in Happy Science might have found it very exciting because we are discovering that this is our time to step up and be leaders. But even so, I'm sure all of us has had to face and handle difficulties, heaviness, and hardship. 2020, I have looked forward to, because Master Akal has said it is the beginning of the golden age. But this golden age has started with the global pandemic, and we are hearing the footsteps of recession. And Master Akal recently gave another spiritual message saying that the world's best efforts to try to preserve a future for humanity by combating climate change is actually going to accelerate a greater global recession. And Master Akal is very concerned about this because it will mean greater misery for a lot of people. And misery is the beginning of people feeling like they are hopeless, feeling resentful that there is no help being given to them, and lashing out in violence, and it being the beginning of many other ills. And that, yes, Master Akal says in a book that is coming out, The Laws of Hope, it will be available in January, that hell is a situation when everybody feels that there is no light. And so everyone is calling out for light, calling out for help. Imagine, like maybe even one analogy that really stuck out to me when I first encountered Happy Signs was Master Akal saying, imagine everybody starving and there's nobody to cook and provide food for other people. That's kind of a more secular version of a situation where there is no light. And Master Akal says that is hell. However, there is light, and that light is each one of us, is what he says. And when each one of us turns on this light, then this world becomes closer to heaven. It becomes more brilliant. But if none of us recognize the light inside of us and are in despair, searching for light, then we create hell. 2020 is the golden age because it was the year that it was declared that we are with Savior. And Master Okala, Lord Alcantara, is that Savior. And why is he that Savior? It's not because he is this great big sun that's going to give the world the light it's looking for. It's because he is here to tell us, even if you feel that you have met failure and disappointment and you don't even have the energy or even the desire to light this light inside of you, I'm going to help you see that you can, and I'm going to give you the energy to do so. That is why he is the Savior. And how he does that is by giving us, well, he gives us many, many tools. Before I get into this, let's look back at the law series that he gave in 2020, the Laws of Steel. And as if he was predicting that 2020 is going to be pretty crazy, he talks about how we need to go through fire and water to become tougher, to become greater people. And fire and water, we definitely went through 2020. He encapsulated it in this way, why we have to go through fire and water. In the Eternal Buddha, he says, O humankind, seek infinite growth. All beings, do not be weak of heart. I will bestow upon you arduous trials in order to make you even greater people. To make iron sand into steel requires intense refining by flame, intense refining by water, and intense refining by hammer. These trials I will bestow upon you, but I say unto you, be strong. undergo infinite training, be infinitely beautiful, be infinitely good. 2021, we will be going into the laws of secret, where we are to learn that this world is actually a beautiful place and we are surrounded by light. In the laws of Hope, Master Ka says that the sun is humongous. The sun's power is a tremendous energy that reaches to every corner of the universe, giving life. That is, it's an analogy of God's power. God's light is gigantic. But all it takes to prevent that light, prevent us from seeing that light, is it can be as trivial and as thin as a piece of paper. Just as if you just put out a white piece of paper when you're outside and the sun is shining, that white piece of paper will create a shadow. It can block the light. And so, Master, that's how easily all kinds of things can prevent us from feeling that light and prevent us from feeling the energy and the aspiration to really turn on the light within. But because it is often a very trivial, something even as simple as a breathing meditation can remove that. So I kind of want to take a moment to just practice that and receive this light from the Alcantara statue right here, right now. And also, yes, right here, right now, before we go into the power of basics, because the power of basics is pretty tough. Okay, so let us begin. If you can get ready for your meditation by sitting up straight and Master Akal will guide you through this.
As we are given 30 minutes to practice Zen meditation, I wish to explain it beforehand. First, I wish to teach an easy method of mental concentration. The point is to straighten your back. In this posture, first put your hands on your lap, lightly with palms down, and let your fingers drape over your legs. If your shoulders are stiff, relax and keep your shoulders down. Make sure your shoulders are not stiff. Your head, neck, back, and hip should be in a natural position as if a straight wire goes through your body from the head to the hips. In this posture, let's move on to breathing. As for the method of breathing, there are several different ways. Today, we will try breathing in through the mouth and out from the nose. First, inhale deeply. Move that breath down to your abdomen. Then start exhaling from your nose slowly. Exhale as if you do it a third at a time. Please start deep breathing. All right, finish deep breathing. This is one of the basic breathing concentration techniques that we employ usually. By inhaling through the mouth, we can intake much air at once and calm our mind in a short time. Of course, you can inhale through the nose. The effect of the breathing concentration is quite evident when we try to abandon irritation, stress, or worries. When you're obsessed with such negative emotions, or your mind is occupied with unfortunate events or ill remarks from others today, you should cut them off by breathing concentration, rather than thinking about them further. By repeating this breathing quietly, you can naturally calm yourself down and get rid of these negative thoughts. You will experience such a moment. Rather than fighting against negative thoughts, you would remove them from your mind by simply regulating your breath. When your mind is filled with anger, worries, or distress, just stop thinking and start this breathing concentration, as I instructed now. Within 3 to 5 minutes, you will regain peace of mind. Then, you will wonder why you were irritated. You will surely experience such a change. Thus, knowing this breathing technique will benefit you greatly. A good thing about this technique is that you can practice it anywhere. Today we do it sitting on the floor, but when you get used to it, you can do it anywhere. You can do it standing in a train. You can try it as you converse with someone. When your mind is occupied by negative ideas during work, you can practice breathing concentration without others knowing. Just stop thinking and breathe in and out deeply for a while. It will surely change the mood. Although it is invisible to your eyes, you should know what happens when you practice this breathing. If you gain spiritual sight and see yourself in front of a mirror, you will see a golden aura growing around your head when you breathe in. A halo appears when you inhale. It is interesting to see the halo come in and out when you repeat breathing concentration. What does the appearance of this aura mean? It means that when your mind is disturbed by various negative thoughts, or you are possessed by stray spirits with low vibrations, you can get rid of them with this breathing technique. Say you feel sick when you get on a train. You seem to be drawing something with a negative vibration. Then get off the train and try breathing concentration. Immediately it will be gone. At that moment, light of heaven flows into you. This light instantly removes negative spiritual vibration. So don't be scared to confront evil spirits. You can get rid of them by merely regulating your breath. Meanwhile, of course, you need to have your mind compass pointing to heaven in a short time.
Thank you, Master Akawa. It's nice to be reminded of this for those that have been in Happy Science for a long time. And it's really important to note that actually this is something that Master Akawa used in the workplace when he was working in a trading company. And you might have seen this in the movie Twice Born. When we look at where we are, and when we have a moment in which we remember our, those deep aspirations, we kind of feel at a loss at the distance from where we deep inside hope to be and where we are right now. Just give me a minute. And then we kind of look around and think, well, it must be the same for everyone, so who am I to try? But like every time I read Master Okawa's books, I am moved to tears because I realize that that self that has kind of given up is my false self, and I feel that false self being washed away, and the true self that understands that it's hard and difficult, and you've experienced a lot of failure, more failures than successes. You still want to try. You still want to aspire to be that greater person you want to be. And then you watch a movie like Master Okawa's Twice Born, in which, even though we kind of put him on a different level because he's Master Okawa, he's a savior. Yes, of course, he had the ability to start Happy Science. What he's trying to say through a book like The Power of Basics is that, no, he did not. He was utilizing everything that he could put his hands on to try to cultivate the motivation to keep going, or no, to try to keep alive his motivation to keep going, and also to really continue to gain greater ability so that when he was still in his 20s, he would be able to start Happy Science in his 30s. In his 20s, he actually, right before he was sent to New York, he made a mistake of jokingly telling a superior. This was 1 year before Master Okawa was going to New York to work here at the World Trade Center. His superior was already assigned to work in New York, and he was attending English conversation classes, and English conversation classes. And Master Okawa runs into him in the elevator, and his superior is on his way to another English conversation class, and Master Okawa jokes, "Oh, you still need to go to conversation classes?" Not being mindful of the fact that the superior's executive boss is in the same elevator. So this superior just really holds him to it. And so when it's Master Okawa's turn to come to New York, Master Okawa does not get the opportunity to study English, isn't given the opportunity to go to these English conversation classes, and isn't given the opportunity to study or practice typing with the new Apple computers that were coming out. And Master Okawa, even though he could read English books, he could read German books, he was reading all these textbooks in university. Imagine you here in the United States, you've studied Japanese, but then you're asked to go to Japan and work there with the Japanese language. You want a little practice first, right? Well, Master Okawa was dumped into New York with zero practice because that little mistake, that little joke he accidentally made in the elevator, and his superior did not forgive him for it. And of course, after he comes to New York, he is brutally just reminded over and over again that he is a Tokyo University graduate, the Harvard of Japan, and yet his English is terrible. He doesn't understand all these financial English terms, economic terms being thrown around. And so he has to suffer that. On top of that, he's assigned to go attend the New York City University for the graduate program there, and he has to read 50, 100 pages every day for class, but he still has a full workload. Mind you, the superiors at his main superior at New York does not like him, so he's not going out of his way to make Master Okawa's life easier here. And Master Okawa's work, one of the main parts is to check documents so that payments can be made. That's described in the Power Basics, and it requires precision. It requires incredible attention to detail. You have to be meticulous about this, and it's in a language that he's not used to. But he gets invited out to go drinking, and then he'll have to drink with his colleagues or his superiors, and he'll come back and he has to study for his graduate school, and then the next morning he's hungover and he can't help but make mistakes on these documents that are matters related to like really big sums of money, and if he makes a mistake, it comes back to him. He says that he was about to cry. He really wanted to cry. And also because he was already very spiritual, around him are people possessed with evil spirits, and these evil spirits are trying to talk to him as he's trying to meticulously check these documents. So exhausted, he would go into the bathroom, and that's when he would practice this breathing practice and just allow the light to come in, and then regain his energy, and then go back to work, go back to his desk. And even though he's feeling like it's impossible to work twice the speed of other people there, he just focuses on doing the work at hand to the best of his ability, and just continues it, repeats it day after day after day. And the amazing thing about repetition is that it really does train your muscles. And gradually, Master Okawa writes that in the beginning, his mind would be restless because he wants to, of course, I can, if I were in his shoes, I would be complaining. I would be like, what? This is impossible. But for him to control that and just direct that energy into doing his work as perfectly and mistakeless as possible, and to repeat that over and over again, to also try to be mindful whenever he has to go with the workmates out drinking, because maybe this time they didn't let him say no, he wants to go home and study because eventually he wants to start a religion. He needs to study about religions. He needs to study about so many other things. He needs to create that time for himself. But in order to try to lessen the hangover, he tries to, not drink so much, or try to avoid going out in order to protect time for himself. And in repeating this over and over again, his restless mind gradually becomes calmer, and his ability to do this work with precision, with accuracy, becomes faster and faster, to the point of him being able to do his work perfectly, because if you make mistakes, it causes problems for other people, very quickly. And he is unaffected. He can do this naturally, smoothly. This then progresses to him being able to finish his work so quickly that he has time on his hands to help other people finish their work. And by the time he is in, actually I'm not sure, but he also says in this book, but any department that he's in, first of all, he would finish his work so quickly that he would be able to help others finish their work. And then their work, even if it was a department that was so busy that everybody was working until 10 or 9 p.m., would get finished by noon that day. And what he's doing here is, by compressing work, or doing work very quickly, but not sloppily, because quick work that's sloppy will create only more problems, right? You have to go back and fix the mistake. That's going to take up more time. So quickly and accurately, he created the time to study and prepare to start a religion. and also created the time for silence for himself. And that, he is saying, is possible for all of us. When I first read it, I was like, And this book came out a couple years ago, and I'm still needing it to really sink in to the point where I'm able to practice it as well. But as with so many of Master Okawa's books, I think just knowing that it is something that we are being called to do will truly set you on a completely different course than the life course you would be on if you had no idea that that is something possible to strive for. Because most people, let's say that you set a resolution for New Year's. You set a resolution, and you aim big, but it's like trying to lift a weight that is too heavy for you. And you think that you can muster your willpower and to lift that weight, but oftentimes it ends up breaking you. It ends up hurting you. And then you're traumatized and you don't want to set any goals at all for a long time. Or we think that, those people who are able to be great, no, those people who are great, they were probably born that way. And so again, you don't even stand at the starting line because you think that great people are great and you're not. Or perhaps you overestimate your abilities and then overestimate by setting a really huge goal and then with the weights really hurting yourself, or underestimating society and thinking that you are talented and you go out there into the competition and you're hoping that you'll get a lucky break. And sometimes you do. But the thing is that in society, there are a lot of people who are fighting the fight against themselves and making that hidden effort every day and building themselves repeatedly, day after day, regardless of whether they win one day and lose another, win another day, lose another. Despite all these ups and downs, there are a lot of people out there who are steadily making efforts. And these people, they don't need lucky breaks. If a lucky break hits, then great. But even without it, they can win. And they will outmatch you. And if you don't realize that that's the case, you will again fall into the thinking of life is unfair. This world sucks. And then, again, miss the truth that it is not the world holding you down. It's just you that's given up. Because the truth is that we are all children of God, and we have the ability to develop ourselves infinitely. That's the wish imbued in us from the very beginning of creation. All of you, be infinitely great, be infinitely beautiful, be infinitely good. But we are also given the freedom to decide if we want to stop and take a break, or even if we want to quit. Also, I want to mention that there may be some people out there who are forcing other people to do things they don't want to do. There may be people out there manipulating others. And Master Okawa, he gave a spiritual message from a Japanese author named Kojin Shimomura. And this man just simply says, those who think that they can get others to do their bidding, those who think that they can manipulate others, are people who don't know how to govern their minds. They don't know how to get themselves to do what they think they need to do what they know they need to do. They don't have the ability to govern themselves to do that. But that ability It comes from just daily training. Your will gets trained the same way your muscles get trained. It's important to accumulate effort steadily in practical ways. By doing so, a level of actual ability develops in you, and you will gain the kind of strong power that doesn't get easily discouraged by slight hardships.
I feel something to keep in mind going into 2021.
In order to have greater time of silence to connect with heaven, do the studying we need to do, or you yourself feel you need to do for the future, is trying to day so that you can think deeply. Just having, it is important to even have 5 minutes of thinking here, 5 minutes of thinking there, but it is, I think, worthwhile to aim to gain 90 minutes of time to really think, because that way you can go deep. And if you're just consuming information from the internet, then you will just become one of many people who are regurgitating information that is just being passed around. You want to be able to think for yourself and be able to speak from experience. That's true wisdom. And the second is related to being able to do your work accurately, swiftly, and compress your work so that you can create that 9 minutes of time is, Master Ka says here, list your work, figure out how much time, or think about how much time each task might take, and then try to allocate it in the time you have, and then work in a preparatory manner. Kind of work on thinking ahead so that when the work comes, you can you are ready to tackle it. And when we have a lot of work kind of falling into our hands, our brains can get scattered. But if you can focus on one job and get it done, then you have the energy and the time to focus on the next. So that's how you can kind of keep resolving, clearing up your work and making, clearing up your to-do list so you have space in your heart, space in your hands to be able to either take on greater work or take that time to study for yourself. Master Ka says it's important to win in the present, but you also want to win 5 years later, 10 years later. And whether you can continue to win 5 years later, 10 years later, is determined by what you do, what you study, how you cultivate yourself today. And lastly, in terms of the importance of time of silence, 2021 Master Okawa is really saying, 2021, because the theme is the laws of secret, and Master Okawa asks us to really realize that it is high time to stop living in just this physical world. There is a much larger world out there that we are a part of. So please start living in that larger world with the spiritual view of life. To kickstart that, here at New York, we are going to take part in a virtual prayer called Prayer for Receiving Other Dimensional Power. And it's originally a $3,000 prayer, but because we are going to take it as a group, it comes, like, you can just make a donation of $100 and be a part of that. But I highly recommend that you do so that you can break through this barrier that's keeping you just confined in this secular physical world. Master Ka is saying, there's so much to do, but don't go about trying to accomplish things with human power alone. Utilize other dimensional power. When you speak to someone, don't try to speak at them with what you know. Heaven is also trying to speak to that person as well. Heaven is also trying to move that person. Heaven is also trying to touch that person. Alcantara is trying to touch that person and light that person's life up, lift that person up. Allow yourself to be the vessel through which that power flows through you. So use other dimensional power in your missionary work, in your work, in whatever you do in your life. And I think that is really change we need to bring about in 2021 onwards. So please join us in this other dimensional power, sacred right to receive other dimensional power, January 1st. And also take part in the seminar, The Laws of Secret, that is January 16th and January 17th. Okay. So to wrap up, I would like for us to just practice a meditation to visualize how we want 2021 to be. That is the meditation for realizing our goals.
Let us now move on to the second meditation, meditation for the realization of goals. Meditate on what you want to accomplish in the coming year. Envision yourself realizing these goals. I'm sure that each of you has something that you want to accomplish more than anything else in the next year. I'd like you to visualize it very hard. Now, sit up straight, steady your breathing, and close your eyes gently. Think of what you want to accomplish the most this year and enter the meditation of the realization of goals. Tell your mind of your goals for this year and call to mind your deep conviction to accomplish and realize them. Begin. End your meditation. This meditation is very important because you focus on a concrete goal like the one for next year. During your meditation, you focus your will on the course that you want your life to take over the next year, or what you want to become like in 1 year. And it's important to make a habit of reflecting on whether you have accomplished the goal at the end of the year. Picture yourself a year from now and focus strongly on what you want to happen. Then reflect on how you do at the end of the year. Compare where you are to where you want to be, and you will grow and progress greatly. Without goals, there can be no progress. Without goals, there's no passion. Therefore, it's vital that you define your goals and ideals and focus on achieving them.
Thank you, Master Okawa. All right. So that ends our seminar today. I hope that it gave you a moment to think about 2021. And I hope that you will go home today with a stronger resolve that, yes, it is on you to decide how you will grow through what 2021 will present to you, and that it is possible to always kind of grow by extracting the nutrients from anything that is thrown at you. Master Okawa says that when he was met with difficulties, he wanted to resent God, but he would stop and think, what is the will behind this? And he would look for the gold, he would look for the diamond in those circumstances. Whether somebody is great or not is only judged in hindsight, and how far you will go is really the freedom that we have been given. So I hope that will stay with you. Okay, please, I hope that you will